my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
oh, never mind.
Welcome back to Actuallyaubery and its Belle Collective Recap, and we're talking about season 2 and the reunion part 1. Welcome in, Nicole. We're seeing a lot of you lately.
I know, right?
right. And I love it. And I'm feeling that our viewers are loving it too. What about you? What do you think, Alex?
V.E. Nicole, that's my girl there.
That's
I
right.
hope so. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for being so professional. I really love it working with people that are professional, on time, and got their stuff together. I love it. I love it.
I try.
Love it. That's right.
And while we're at it, while we're speaking on it, I want to take the time to thank you so much for that beautiful thumbnail and lavish background that we used on yesterday for DJ Quicksilver of Love and Marriage DC.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a great interview, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. I'm always, slightly surprised, sometimes a little bit more than other times, but I was really appreciative of how warm and welcoming and how upfront Quick was, weren't you, Alex?
Yeah. I mean, I met him in person. Like I said on the interview, when I met him in person, complete gentleman. He's standing there, he'll talk to you, and when it's time to get to work, he goes, "Excuse me, bro," and get back on his turntables. So
get back to doing what he does best.
Back to doing what he does best,
Awesome.
So, yeah.
And was the music I take it was really pumping that night too, huh?
Yeah, that big event my sister had last year, September 18th. It was a great event. Big turnout, everything.
Oh, wow. Okay. Was that in the DC area? Or was that
in
New York?
DC? That was in DC.
Right in DC. Okay.
Yep,
wow.
Right in DC.
Awesome.
Yep.
Hey there, Monique. How you doing? Yeah, that's right. Hit that thumbs up on the way in. Welcome yourself into the group and hit that thumbs up. We appreciate that, and it helps the algorithm, right?
Yeah. Monique, what's up, Monique King? Miss No Sleep.
I know we got two ladies here that never sleep.
Yeah, two vampires in the room.
We got things to do.
Right. I won't go that far now. You go a little overboard, but we'll go ahead and we'll get started as people are still coming into the room. As we open, we see the castmates are arriving to the set, a very elegant set, and some of them have, of course, the ladies have to get their hair and their makeup done. And we find out that Glenn and Letitia have separate dressing rooms, the married couple. And once they actually sit down, we find out that Carlos, his middle name is actually Reginald.
Yeah.
But guys, what do you think about the set? What do you think, especially Nicole? What do you think about the ladies' attire, and who was best dressed in your opinion of the ladies?
Well, everybody knows that I have a favorite.
Really? I don't know. It's my first time talking about Belle Collective. So who's your favorite there? Yeah, tell us.
My favorite is Latrice.
I love her too.
And why is that?
I just like her vibe. And I hate to say this, but y'all know that I keep it real.
Mm-hmm, you do.
It's not too much to pick from.
Okay.
Well, what about we'll get to it a little bit later. We'll talk about it again. But what about the new girl? I like Akeisha also.
Oh, I like Akeisha. I guess I like
Yes.
Yeah. But from the OGs, Latrice is my girl.
Absolutely. I like her too. I see we have similar tastes. I see that now. And the men look good. The men look very nice. They had on their tuxedos, and they were all very appropriately dressed. Nobody came in jeans or shorts or anything like that.
And of
And
course, and of course, they waited to bring the men out. Of course, they
they
waited a
waited.
while.
Yeah, they did wait. Right, they came out a little bit later on. I think we're going to get a lot more of the men in the part 2, so that should be very interesting. That should be very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So, what did you think? Who you think was dressed the best, Aubrey?
That's a good question. I liked all the ladies. I love the fact that they had the jewel tones on. I think they all looked good. Probably my favorite, one of my favorite was Akeisha. I love the red on her. I really did. I also like the purple on Latrice. I did. That's one of my favorite colors. I think it's. Would you say that's a purple, or what color would you call that, Nicole?
It was purple. It was definitely true purple.
Yeah, I like that. I like both of their looks. I was the only thing, and I'll just add this. The only thing I was a little surprised by was our girl Marie, who had flaunted and rocked the blonde all season long. You know, of course, came to the reunion with her hair, returned it back to black.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, but I like the change. I mean, I like what she had on. I like the way her hair looked with what she had on. And so I was kind of digging that what Marie had on. I mean, you know, changing from blonde to brunette, that, you know, that doesn't really faze me. Her hair looked nice.
It did. What did you think, Nicole? Or did you? I mean, she looked nice. I'm not saying she didn't.
I'm saying
I was surprised.
Thank you for setting the blonde down. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
You appreciate that blonde going away, huh?
I don't know what you're doing, ma'am. What are you doing?
We'll get into the George Washington comparison a little bit later. I thought that was hilarious.
I cannot tell a lie. She made me say it. George Washington. Unbelievable.
Hey there, LMV. Good to see you. Also a moderator extraordinaire member. Oh, we love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you, guys. And you know, I don't know what's going on with YouTube with their notifications, because I see that they just sent out notifications even though we've been on the air for almost 8 minutes. So I don't know what's going on with them guys. So go figure. Go figure.
Right. Well, we'll be on for a little while. They'll have time to get into the room.
They'll have time. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, so that was the George Washington. Okay, so we see, you know, we also see and find out that Marie has been doing a lot of self-care. She's been in the gym. Want to know, they get to talking a little bit about Tambra, and did she or did she not get a BBL? What's your thoughts on that? I'm gonna go to you, Alex, since you are the BBL expert over here.
Yeah, but you know, honestly, I never really noticed her butt like that during the season. So,
can we say derriere or a more refined word on this show?
But BUTT, but
derriere or posterior or behind, sir.
Behind what? I never noticed it. Yeah, honestly.
To be honest, I didn't either. So I'm like, well, whoever she went to, I don't know. Nicole, what did you? What were your thoughts on it?
I was just going to ask, while we were debating the classification of the word, where was it at in the first place?
Right.
Oh my Lord. Okay, so clearly, no, clearly none of us saw it. So okay, we're on one accord on that.
Wherever it's at, Demon likes it.
Well, yeah, he likes it. He likes it. He don't like it enough to make it his, but whatever, you know. He don't like it enough to lock it up with a ring, but okay, whatever. I don't think that's all that much like, you know. So we meet Akeisha and we meet Sophia, you know, and they give little clips of Akeisha and Sophia. And I have to say, I'm going to ask you guys what you think. Well, I'll say mine for last. What do you guys think about what they added to the cast this season? Those of us that saw first season. What do you guys think? Did they add the spice? Did they add the funny to it? Did they add that's something extra that they needed on this show?
Wow. Well, let me say this. I think the ratings are up. Okay. Yes. And the ratings are up for a reason. And I would say two reasons. One, adding Akeisha and Sophia definitely helped, because Akeisha came in and added that real like high society bougie side coming from up north back home. You know, it was a good story.
Yes.
It was a good storyline coming
Good
back from the
storyline.
Bronx back home. Her husband Willie Colon, former NFLer for many years,
Hmm.
added a great twist to it. You know,
Yes.
So Gucci or Sophia, they got their real estate business going on, and you know her husband JJ is a character all
Yeah,
in
and he's
itself,
done reality TV before too. So
right?
yes.
So, but also too, what also helped the ratings is podcasters like us. You know, us talking about the show and getting people interested in the
Yes.
show and pushing the show and things like that, getting the word out about the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And your thoughts, Nicole?
I like Acacia.
Okay, so I will leave with is like is that one of those things where the elders used to say if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I'll take
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'm gonna hold it for now. I'm holding it.
I'll take it that way. Okay, okay. I want to ask you guys. I'm gonna just throw it out there. What did you guys think? Why was Tambra, as we got into the introduction of the two new ladies, why did it seem like Tamara didn't want Akeisha on the show after they had already submitted her name to Carlos to bring her on the show?
Cause she
I
knows
have
she
my.
was running that mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
You think
mm.
maybe she had been talking to and saying that you think that maybe she had been talking to Akeisha and telling her more intimate details of the other lady's background and what was going on with them?
Ain't no maybe to it.
Mm.
Ooh, ain't no maybe to it. All right, all
You know
right.
what? You know what I find? I'm
We got
sorry,
a rich
Nicole. Go ahead.
conversation. Mhm.
That
Go ahead,
wasn't
Nicole.
no. I just said it wasn't no maybe to it.
Yeah. You know what I find interesting is that both Tambra and Akeisha at different points of the show said they don't trust none of these women. And I find it interesting that, you know, Tambra talks so much. Who is she to say who she don't trust? Nobody can trust her.
Exactly.
You know, so she everything Akeisha has said, even about her background, you know, Tambra has ran, you know, with it and told everybody. So she's the one that can't be trusted. And Akeisha don't feel
Mhm.
like she could trust anybody because she's the newcomer. So she's still trying to fill everybody out and get the story on, get the 911 on everybody. But Tambra really has an issue running that mouth. What you say, Nicole?
You said the 911,
Yeah, the
Oh,
911.
the 411.
the 411.
411, whatever it is. Y'all say 911?
Listen, it was going to turn into a 911, because, usually in a debate, the person who gets the angriest is the one that's caught up in the BS.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
agree. Jeremy thinks that they were good additions, the new ladies. Yes. Hey there, Jeremy. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Definitely, I agree, Jeremy. Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, the ratings are clearly up. So something did it. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, and Akeisha got so frustrated with Tamara that she basically called her a liar, said she was lying,
Somebody had to
lying
say
like a
it.
lying like a Persian rug.
Mm.
Woo! I'm gonna tell you now. I don't like to bring this up. It's gonna come up anyway, though, part two. So we will be talking about it. But I want to say I think that for some reason, and I could be wrong, but from my experience with people from the South, especially the deep South, I felt like there might have been a hint of colorism in the whole situation with Tambra against Akeisha, and that maybe somehow she felt like she wanted to be the brightest person, physically speaking,
Mm.
skin wise, complexion wise, and she didn't want that competition from Akeisha. That's what I felt, and I think that was the other reason why the looks came into the conversation that Tambra was having with the other ladies. I think she knew that they were going to take that in that way, even though nobody yet has really brought it up. But that's just my subtext that I feel that that's the unspoken thing that's kind of going on between the two women, but it's more Tambra's side and not Akeisha's side, if that makes sense.
Mm.
If that is the case, that's sad.
Yeah, I was going to talk about colorism because Marie actually mentioned that.
It is. Colorism is very sad, but I see it a lot in the South. You would be surprised, like how the difference that some people think two, 3 shades make. Like, oh, you're light skinned. Oh, but you're not really light skinned. You're brown skinned. I mean, they get off on that stuff in the South. I'm like, really?
Yeah, you're not.
Are we back in the 1920s? Are you guys serious?
It's crazy because you're not dark enough for black people, but you're not light enough for white people. So it's like it's so ridiculous. And Marie made a comment during the reunion where she talked about Akeisha, saying, you know, them light people with them, especially with them light eyes, you can't trust them.
That was said, and I thought that was really shady. I was like, I was surprised at Marie. I was very surprised at her because I thought she was more intelligent and just more refined than that. I'm sorry. What did Nicole? You said?
I'm sorry. You just making me laugh over here.
I did. I thought. I mean, even though we know she acts, you know, and I never know on watching and reviewing these reality shows. I never know which part of these castmates and cast members, which part of them is performative for the camera, you know, giving us entertainment, right? Because we know reality TV has to be entertaining, right? And then how much of it is really them? But when she said that, I thought, man, that's kind of bonkers for you to talk about people with light eyes. Like, really?
Yeah, it like came out of left field. Yeah, like came out of left field, you know, and there was intent behind it. She meant what she said when she said it.
I felt that she meant what she said. That's why I say there's some colorism going on, but I felt like it was actually, I felt the first twinges of it really more being Tambra, who is fair skinned, with Akeisha, who is also fair skinned, and I felt like that's why I say I felt like, to me, Tambra has this thing about Akeisha being on the cast because she would have then been competing with another very fair skinned person, because the rest of them are brown to deep brown, right?
And I think that's one of the things I addressed earlier about Tambra. I mean, she overdoes it with the foundation. I mean, you're light enough. Why do you keep packing on foundation and powder? You're light enough. So I don't know what's this thing she got about being lighter and lighter. You know, I don't get it.
I noticed that too. I noticed the difference between, So I mean, and then to be fair now though too, sometimes anyway, I noticed it, but she's just different. Her whole thing, the way she speaks, talking about Tamara now, the way she speaks and over enunciates her words, I don't know what's going on. I really don't.
Right. So,
but we'll move along though.
Yeah. What's the next card?
Yeah, the next card is
what's up, Roro?
Yeah, shout out to Roro, one of our 18 members. Good to see you, girl. Later we find out that Akeisha did not like the cast photo, and I can feel her on that, because I was looking at, you know, last season, I was like, it didn't look real professional, and it just, I don't know, it was leaving something to be desired. But I would have never said the ladies were ugly from it. But
but how do you say that without being insulting? Nicole or Aubrey, tell me, how would you say the photo could have been better without insulting the ladies? How would you have said that, Nicole?
Yeah.
Nicole. First of all, if you're such a businesswoman, why are they not coming to you all first to approve anything that goes out before it goes out? Anything with my image on it, I best believe I'm going to see it and approve of it before it goes out. So, first of all, it shouldn't have been an unflattering picture out, if that's what you want to call it. But at that point, who are you not liking? Because are you not liking yourself? And then if you're talking about somebody else, you're just being a hater at that point.
Well, yeah, she was talking about first season's cast photo, which she wasn't in because she wasn't on the cast first season. But I do kind of get what she was saying. I don't know that the first season the ladies originally had any say so about the photos, or, you know, which ones they actually use in publicity. But
that's bad business.
Yeah, but, you know, I guess they looked at it. They're getting paid. They're on the cast, so, you know, we'll just move along. You know.
But Aubrey, Aubrey, remember RTL Potomac when they did before the season started? They put the promotional pictures out there, and now that we know Keena, we know she's a very attractive woman. We know she dresses very well and all this stuff, but they didn't use her most attractive pictures for the promotionals. Okay. And so they don't usually ask, I guess. It seemed like they don't ask to get approval first. They use what they want to use. That's what it would seem.
To me, it seems that you don't have any representation. because I don't care what's going on. I'm going to approve of any image out there of me, and I ain't made it hardly nowhere yet. At this level that I'm at right now, I'm going to approve of what I look like.
Yeah, you got agents and managers. They got to be on top of that if you have them.
Yeah, I'm gonna say now, okay, hear from somebody that modeled for over 10 years. I'm gonna say that honestly speaking though, when you're doing work, if you're doing a photo shoot for yourself, if you're doing it for your own portfolio, that's different. But like I go to work for Carlos King, guess what? He gets to say so. He gets the final approval on the photos. And we might have taken 5 photos that shoot. We might have taken 500 photos, but he gets the final say so. Me from my professional lens, I felt like whoever did the photo shoot maybe wasn't the caliber that I would have preferred, right? Because I don't think it was just a one and done. Because I think I saw a few photos from the shoot from last season, and I didn't really like any of them. And some of it had to do with the photographer. I would say maybe 60-70% the photographer. Some of it had to do, honestly, with the lady's makeup and hair, and that's a whole nother thing, right? So you on a photo shoot, do you do your own? Are you skilled enough to do your own hair and makeup? Or do they have someone on set? And then if they have someone on set, is that person any good? You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different variables in that. And 9 out of 10, when you're shooting and you're working for somebody else, no, you actually do not have the final say on the photos. Because guess what? You're not producing it, i.e. your money is not backing it. So you cannot hold anything up by saying you want to have final say on the photos. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But
I hear what you're saying, and I'm not agreeing.
Yeah, but that's the way it works in the industry, though. And I'm telling you, that's for many years of working, and that's from my friends that are agents. That's how that goes. If I go to work, okay, so I go to work for Ford Motor Company, and I go do a shoot. Doesn't matter which photo I think is the best. They're going to pick for their layout. They're going to pick the one that they like the most based on the product and what they're going for. And what they're going for may not be what makes me look the best. I did a whole shoot for Buick years ago, and the photo that they ended up using. Now I got other photos from the photographer because I knew him and he liked me and he shared with me so I could put the better ones, the ones I like better in my portfolio. But the ones that they actually published that went out worldwide was not the most flattering to me. But guess what? It was a Buick vehicle that they were featuring, not me. I just happened to be there. You know what I'm saying? They just happened to pay me the big bucks to stand next to the car with me and my fake husband, right? My fake model husband. So, it doesn't really matter what I think. But in the meantime, I collect the checks. So that's okay.
I hear you. And that's probably why, because, different industries, as a model, I can respect what you're saying. But over here in the music world, I guess that's probably why they get so mad because, a lot of people say as far as the women artists that they have on their labels, women are a lot of responsibility because you're not putting nothing out with my face on it that I don't approve of, me and my manager.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this from a business perspective because you guys know I make film and television and stuff like that as well. And right. I'm very aware of budgeting. And when you're putting out a show for the first time, you're experimenting to see if the show works. You don't know what's going to become of it. You don't have much money or much of a budget because not too many people are backing you. You're going to cut corners. You're going to do whatever is necessary to save that money, but to get a show out that's respectable. So that's why between last season and this season, things look a lot better, and they'll look a lot better, I'm assuming, in season 3.
Exactly. That's the key thing. And then real quick, and then we'll move on. Alex, finally, as a producer and as a filmmaker, did you allow your cast to pick the final photograph for the poster for the film?
No, that was up to the production.
This is what I'm talking about. Ultimately, whether it's model or whether it's TV, film, it's going to be the same. So now, if you're a big name like Viola Davis or Denzel Washington, that's different.
Right. Much different.
That's much different.
I hear y'all.
Nicole ain't buying none of this.
I'm not. No. because I talk about people. And my image is gonna look right because they're not gonna talk about me.
They waiting to come for you. They waiting to come for you.
I know, so I gotta be on point. I'm not, no ma'am.
Oh my goodness.
Right. And so on this same note card, we just want to gloss over real quick. You guys, what did you think of Akeisha and Letitia's the whole brunch issue, the whole Playgate? You know, and who was right with that Playgate thing? Because we know that kind of continued on throughout the whole season, basically.
Would you eat on a dirty plate?
No, but I also I wouldn't eat off a dirty plate, Alex. But here's the thing: I also wouldn't make a big brouhaha about it either. I have enough class not to do that because I have been to top of the line places, and sometimes we know that they don't wash those plates by hand. They're put into a dishwasher, and something that's caked on and crusted on doesn't always come off. What you typically do is put that plate to the side and pick up the clean one that's right up under it.
But what Akeisha said she did was she turned to production first.
Yeah.
And said these plates aren't clean. And they said, "What you coming to me for?" So she went to Letitia.
Right, but she also go ahead.
No, she went to Letitia and said, "Listen, the plates aren't clean." And Letitia said, "What you coming to me for?" So it's like, where's she supposed to go?
I don't know, but what I'm saying is, like I said, you typically don't say anything to anyone, just having class and style and grace. You just go to the next plate. Now, if she's trying to tell us that all of the plates there were dirty, there were other people eating off the plate, so all of a sudden all the plates are dirty. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make logical sense. But I do get, well, I will say this though on her part, I do get that Letitia was defensive. And now you can't have it both ways. It's supposed to be Letitia's brunch. That's what they billed it as. You know, this is what production and what our notes said and what it said on the screen, right? But then Letitia says during the reunion, she says, "Oh no, I didn't put that together." So make up your mind. Now, which one is it?
Yeah, I was confused with that.
Be consistent. That's the thing. So if we feigning like this is your brunch, then she did have a right to ask her, "What do you want me to do?" Which, like I said, at that point, if I were Letitia, I would have said, "Here's another plate," and I would have smiled and moved on. You're not gonna catch me on that. But because these two are kind of like alpha women, we see that there's going to be a struggle between them anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I see is happening. The two ladies, they took the opportunity. Akeisha gave everyone their custom-made T-shirts, and Letitia, I thought this was really nice. She gave Carlos looks like a lucite crown. What did you think of that, Nicole? The crown?
I'm a crown wearer, so I'm all for crowns. Crowns and hats is my thing when it comes to the music that I make. So I love crowns.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. I mean, I like that. T-shirts are nice, but I really love the crown because I thought that was something that could be nice that would go in his office and he would always remember. And then even what she said on it was very sentimental and very, congratulatory, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I like the T-shirt that says, "Are the plates clean?" Because like they're gonna run with that one. You know, you probably get that copywritten.
Yes, because I'm sorry, I would have did exactly what she did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you would have been Akeisha. You would have made a scene about it.
I don't feel like she made a scene.
Well, you're right. She didn't start making a scene because she did ask her. But then I guess what it was, the energy between them.
Yes, it was the reaction.
That was what made the scene. You're right. Yeah. She didn't start making a scene, but I do agree with you. Letitia was way too sensitive about that. Don't feel bad for Letitia. Takesha said, "All these Ishas, y'all wearing me out."
Yeah.
She chooses. Oh, we haven't got to that.
Oh, we haven't gotten there yet. Okay.
I'm gonna hold that comment back.
Yeah, hold that comment back.
Yeah, I'll hold that one. I'll hold that. We'll move forward. We'll move forward. Okay. So next, the Marie and Latrice beef. Let's talk about it. Come on now. Let's talk about the Marie and Latrice beef. It started with the hair. It started with the goddess length hair, and then it moved on from there to Marie claiming that Latrice had called the state on her and was questioning that she had made some kind of fraud with the state with her centers. What do you think about that, Nicole?
First of all, Marie was wrong for the hair thing. And I believe
why was she wrong? I mean, if she wasn't
her hair, that was not her hair. You see her hair, you see Latrice's hair. For one,
Yeah.
her hair is always laid. I'm a
Yeah.
cosmetologist. So as no, I can't
Oh.
feel their hair by watching it. But that
Mhm.
hair that Latrice has on her head and that you saw in her store was not the hair that Marie was playing them games with.
Mm,
Mm,
playing
wow.
games, playing.
Playing
I thought
games.
about that too because I said, yeah, I don't. It's something not right about that. Something not right. Let me get you guys. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But
Continue talking, E. Nicole. Is there? So you? Oh, you really feel like? And then do you also I have to ask you this? So E. Nicole, do you also feel like the way Marie went about talking to Latrice about it at the brunch was that the appropriate time?
Absolutely not.
I,
And
I could never understand that.
sometimes the reason why I like Latrice is her demeanor,
Mm-hmm.
because even though she can stand up for herself quite well, you can tell that she's more so laid back and easygoing.
Mm-hmm.
So the and I hate using the word aggressive when it comes to us because I feel like it's overly used.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, at that brunch, Marie was way too aggressive and she was playing games because that was not her hair.
mm,
That's what I kept wondering, and then I thought about it, and even if it was, let's say, even if it was, my thing is again is the inappropriateness of it all. Why
Yeah.
would you wait to get to the brunch and start questioning her about it? And she came off from the gate, from the get go. Marie did. She came off of basically attacking Latrice. Before Latrice could even get her words out, and Latrice started off being very mild and saying, "Well, okay, we can check into it." Da 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 da. And Marie just kept at her on that was first season. Talking about going back to first season, she
mm.
just kept going at her, and I'm like, lady, we're at a whole brunch. Why don't you go wait till Monday morning and call her store and deal with it then? Because the hours of business are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, not Saturday while I'm sitting here trying to enjoy my chicken brunch. Okay.
And Ellen, that's what I thought too. I believe that the stylist switched the hair, took Latrice's
Yeah.
hair for herself, and tried to give Marie some hair, some other hair, and didn't think that Marie would notice, but it backfired because then Marie is now blaming Latrice.
I thought about that too. That's exactly right. I thought about that too. I said, well, dang, you know what? That does happen in shops. That does
Yes, it
happen.
does.
You come in with some good hair and they give you the okey doke hair.
It does. It absolutely happens. It
Mm-hmm.
absolutely happens all the time. And this was my thing. Latrice has, like, I could see if she had a whole bunch of businesses, because a lot of people have multiple businesses. I am one of them. But a lot of people say, what is that saying? They say,
What's that?
something of many is a master of none.
Oh, yeah, a jack of many. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
like this is her only business. She put her blood, sweat, and tears into that business. She has hair vending machines. Do you think if her hair was the quality that Marie was insinuating, that they wouldn't have said, come get this machine out our mall?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
She would have been. It would have never got to be a multi-million
Right.
global type business. It really
Mm.
would, and especially from in our community, we don't play about our hair.
And
We do
Yeah.
ever
not play
since
about
you
our hair.
stopped getting hair from Latrice, we seen what you be looking like. So I don't believe you.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Yeah, boy, eating Nicole is rough, but it's a jack of all trades and a master of none. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
And last question on this note card: do you guys? Okay, I know. I'm not trying to be petty, but I
I
guess a
got some
little bit
stuff to
I
add,
am.
but go ahead,
Did,
Aubrey.
go ahead. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, but let me ask this also too. Do you guys think that Marie actually got a new nose or not?
It don't look like no new nose to me. It ain't like a Michael
Okay.
Jackson nose or nothing like that. You know what I mean?
No, no, nobody goes that overboard the first time around.
Right.
Wait till next season. But what,
So
what were you going to add it before we move on to the next note?
they be hitting low. They hitting low, ain't they? I'm telling you. But because
Oh.
she did not have to bring up her nose at all.
Well, anyway, whatever. Come
But
on. What did you had to add before the nose thing, or was that it?
no, Latrice felt like, how true do you guys think it is that Marie had never heard of God is Hair or whatever prior to? Because Latrice seemed
Hmm.
very insulted that Marie says she had never heard of it. And Latrice, like, everybody knew about my hair. Everybody knew about God is Hair. I'm known all over the world, this and that. So that's kind of jump started it off because Latrice got very defensive there. But then, of
Hmm.
course, they started talking about Marie's business, being investigated and so forth. And Latrice pulled out a piece of paper, gave it to Carlos about something that happened in 2015 or 2016 when she was investigated.
Oh yeah, right. That's good. That's talking about that. Yeah.
And one thing I'll say about the type of business that Marie is in, okay,
yes,
they are scrutinized constantly in that type of business because you're dealing with insurances, you're dealing with drugs, you're dealing with people with mental issues, you're dealing with a whole lot in those businesses. So they're constantly scrutinized and investigated. So it's no surprise to me if she was investigated. What would surprise me is if they found unscrupulous activity that was going on. Now, if they didn't find unscrupulous activity, I have no problem with her being investigated because they have to be investigated. There's too much fraud and stuff that goes on out here.
Exactly. What did you guys think? Thank you for bringing that up, Alex. Those are very good points. What did you guys think of the comparison? Now that you mentioned it, that Marie also made, saying, well, I have all of these clinics, and this is something that is very serious. People deal with this, with the i.e. addiction, etc., versus her having a hair care line and having and I thought to myself, I said, well, they're both very serious and important because we know that, there are people that have addictions that need treatment centers and so forth and so on. But we also know that hair is a serious industry too. The beauty industry is global and worldwide and very important also. I mean, you may think it sounds shallow, but, people are going to be getting hair no matter what. So why shouldn't Black people be involved in the hair care business? Like we know that other people are selling us hair. Why shouldn't we sell hair?
I mean, how you going to be on a show that focuses on beauty and put down somebody's hair care product? That doesn't even make any sense. That's an oxymoron. The show focuses on beauty. So that's hair, clothes, makeup, all of that stuff. Because trust me, we would not come see a bunch of women with no makeup on, hair not done, dressed any old kind of ways. We wouldn't even watch the show.
I don't know why we watch Ready to Love with Randall Rah-Rah, and he don't have his hair brushed or combed.
Because this is Belle Collective and Southern Bells. You crazy with Randall. You love Randall. So does E. Nicole.
I think he has beautiful eyes and eyelashes, but other than that, no, he would never be my type. No.
But this is called Belle Collective, and Southern Bells are historically known to be classy, upstanding, well-dressed, refined women. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I agree.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Being a cosmetologist and being in the health field since I've been in the 9th grade, it's health and wellness. It's a whole package. As cosmetologists, we have to know the ailments and the different things pertaining to the skin and the hair. Also, a lot of my friends, we get hair together for cancer patients that have lost their hair, alopecia patients. So health and wellness all goes in the same package. And it really doesn't matter if you have a health business or a hair business or a paperclip business. If this is my business and I'm making money from it, I don't want people saying bad things about my business because we all know that bad news travels way faster than good news.
That's right.
Yep. Word of mouth is still the quickest mode. Word of mouth is still the fastest.
And what is it you always say, Alex, about it's easy to lose the trust? Is much easier to lose to lose trust than it is to rebuild trust.
That's it. I mean, you could lose it in a split second. Something that take years to gain. Trust is only gained over years, but it takes a half a second to destroy it.
Yeah, and women, we don't play about our hair. I used to fight. I would get into fights over my hair.
But I'll say, yeah. And then when little girls would fight when we were kids, what's the first thing they do? Grab each other's hair. It's the first thing they would do.
Yeah, that or the earrings. So you better take them off, and you better put your Vaseline.
I've never had a fight with a woman.
Never? Wow.
Me neither.
No.
Me neither.
Every fight I've ever been with a man.
Oh,
wow.
Lord. I'm not gonna fight them either.
I don't fight men. For
I
just
got
that
something for a
reason.
man, but I'm not gonna fight him though. But I
I'm
stand there
older now. I ain't gonna
and
fight,
point.
but I used to would, and it was for simply that reason because I don't have to worry about you pulling my hair, scratching me. Just knuckle up and hit.
Mm-hmm. You see Ellen's quote here, Ellen V. That's just what I was just talking about. You know.
What's that? Oh, right. Yeah, I wanted to put that up on the screen. Absolutely. And that's what, and then that brings us to, and then we'll move on. Um, in the scene when they were talking about that, Carlos King asked Marie, he says, "Are you saying that even before the show that your company, your clinics were never investigated?" And there was a long pause. And basically, long story short, she said what you said. They had been investigated, but nothing was found. Nothing, nothing criminal or nothing underboard was found, so she was good.
And I'll add this, Aubrey and E. Nicole. The hair business, the cosmetology business in the Black community has become sort of the norm, although very important. We love those businesses. You're making money, you're a service to the community. What Marie is doing is something definitely out of the norm for Black people, and particularly Black women in general. She's totally out of the box with what she's doing. Okay,
What
because
with the
with
clinics?
with the clinics, totally out of the box. Okay, because for me, when I go into a Black neighborhood, I see barbershops, beauty salons constantly, or maybe 2 and 3 sometimes per street in Brooklyn and New York or whatever. So they're a very common thing. But when you're going into something like the medical industry, you got to deal with the government. For Black people, that's typically very uncommon. So she's treading on different waters with that.
It's not uncommon where I live and with my family, but I do understand what you're saying because they do live in a different area. And speaking on what Aubrey, what you mentioned earlier, I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
sometimes we forget because I live in the Midwest that in the
Yeah, same
South
here.
things are still very different.
Very slow. Yes,
Mm,
yes,
yeah.
yes. I agree. I do agree with that, and particularly because I have a very close girlfriend of mine that lives maybe about 40 minutes outside of Jackson, and when she tells me about the things there, I'm kind of like, okay, all right. But as we move on to the next note card, do you agree with Letitia that Marie and Latrice are similar? As we kind of wrap this topic of them two up, do you agree that not talking about physically, but talking about personality traits and things like that? Because I guess they are in a sense that they're both driven. What do you guys think?
I do not.
I don't think they're similar either. I agree with E. Nicole. Um, I think Marie can go from 0 to 100 much quicker than Latrice can.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Now that no, they're not similar in temperament, not
yeah,
at all. No, no.
yeah. I think Marie is much more on edge
Hmm.
constantly because of what she's dealing with in her life. That a lot of what she put on herself, obviously, but I think she's dealing with a lot more. So she's constantly on edge, much more so than Latrice is.
I
So
think she's so unhealed too. I think that's
yeah,
really where it really comes from. It's she's so unhealed because that whole scene is this season's brunch, for example, where she got so upset and so out of pocket and had to go into the bathroom to calm down and all that, yelling and screaming and I gotta go and this, that, and the other. And it's always about her. What I saw in that moment was that little girl that never had that nurturing from her mom because her mom was too busy with her boyfriend
and getting
drugs.
high. Yep. Mm-hmm.
No, I was talking. That's what I too busy with her boyfriend drugs.
Oh no, yeah, the boyfriend was the drug, right?
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right, being addicted to drugs. So I think that's where a lot of her pain. She still holds on to that. She's just very unhealed. How she comes across to me. That's what I see.
And what do you
Just
think, Aubrey and E. Nicole, about the big thing about when Letitia said in the bathroom, you show you giving these H's something to talk about. She used the H word, and everybody was like, "Whoa!" But then Keisha was like, "I say it all the time." I wasn't offended because I say it all the time. So she referred to them as H's. I guess.
that's
This
the
is,
way they talk. That's
yeah,
the
that's what I'm
slang.
saying.
I don't think it's meant in the way that you. But I take exception to that. But I'm gonna let E Nicole get her opinion in, and then I'll kind of close that out. My thoughts on that. E Nicole, what
Mm.
do you think?
Yeah, that's how we talk, and that even more solidifies the fact that they're not alike. They might have similar qualities, as far as being driven, don't play about your business. But being a businesswoman, what businesswoman wouldn't be that way? I think I like Latrice because I think that out of everybody, and I'm not talking about the new additions, but the OG crew, season one, I think she's the only one that embodied Southern Belle. She's dainty, you know. She tries not to be so.
Yes.
Unless you take her there, you know. Because I'm a lady and I like to be classy and everything like that, but I will meet you at your level. Believe it.
Right. Yeah, she really is. You're right about that because we've seen all of them come out of pocket so very quickly. But from, like you said, the OG, the original, 5, in which we know one is no longer on the show, the 4 of them, Latrice is, you're right. That's what it is about her. And I'm glad because I never really thought about what exactly it was, and that's it, that she is a lady. We see that she has the ability, and she's talked about it. She can go there if you are convinced that you must take her there, and I believe her when she says it. But basically, we've never really seen her get so out of pocket. She just really is a lady. She really is a lady, and that's what I like about her, because that's what I believe and that's what I stand for, is keeping your composure. You're not going to make me lose my composure.
Yeah, a lot of times when you see them acting a fool and arguing, Latrice just sit there. She shakes her head. She don't say much.
And when she's angry, you can tell that she's trying to calm herself down from being so out of pocket.
Yes. She has certain little ticks. Any of you guys ever notice how she sometimes plays with her hair when she's nervous?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She has certain little ticks, but you're right. But she has learned how to quiet herself, and that's what I'm talking about, because I don't understand. Like, I haven't had any fights as a woman, as a grown woman. I had very few fights as a child growing up. I don't understand this thing in society that people do now, where they just do whatever. Like, people no longer care about their reputation. They no longer care if they appear as an adult or if they appear as a lady or a gentleman. And that's fine, I guess, for people that are okay with that. But that's never going to be me. That's never going to be me, because I think that at some point, where's your decorum? Where do you stand at? How do you raise children, and you in the streets acting a fool? And nowadays, with all the video and all the, the ease of putting something on social media, you're liable to be saying and doing something and acting all out of pocket. And tomorrow it's liable to be on Instagram.
I agree. I think people take the term, I'm keeping it real. They take it too far. Like, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to not like someone, but people go overboard.
Yes, E. Nicole, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's one thing to not let people run over you. Yes, I agree. You should not let people run over you, and sometimes you have to catch it. You have to nip things in the bud. But there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. You can address somebody without cursing. You can address somebody without slapping, without hitting. There's a lot of things that you can do that will nip things in the bud, and you can move on and still have your dignity intact, because you don't have to go as low as them. If somebody wants to get in the gutter, guess what? I'm not going to get in the gutter with you.
You know what? And Malcolm X's first mentor, the guy that started mentoring him in prison, said to him, "A man curses because he doesn't have the vocabulary to properly express himself." And that's kind of true.
Now, see, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
How did I know it? Hey, Kirby, shout out to you, Kirby.
Hey, Kirby, that's my friend of me right there, Kirby.
Wait a minute, don't be messing with my daughter's soon to be Belle.
Hi, Kirby. You know, me and Kirby are hit and miss. We are hit and miss. But I don't agree with that, because y'all know my daddy a pastor.
I love Kirby's intelligence, but go ahead. You were saying.
And both my granddaddies are pastors. So I don't cuss in front of them. However, I think that there's levels to conversation. So if I'm starting out and I'm like, hey, can you be quiet and let me talk? And if somebody continue talking, I might say, listen, shut up. And if they keep talking, then I'm going to have to say, shut the F up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's levels. It's levels.
Why? I mean, why are we having this conversation with this person? If you feel that way about that person, why? I guess I'm wondering, why does it even get to that level? Like, I don't know who this person is. I don't know if this is a stranger. I don't know if you're at a random brunch or dinner party. But I'm
I
just
just
trying to
mean
figure out.
levels to the vocabulary used.
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
I don't know. Okay. Okay. We can agree to disagree. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's see, guys. We did not
Cedric did not appear.
Cedric did not appear. Go nor
Yeah, why
which was
wasn't Essie there?
wait. This was funny. This I gotta get this out. This was funny. Carlos said your husband Cedric did not appear, nor did your other spouse Essie. That was, I don't know if you caught that. That was funny shade to me. And Marie didn't deny it. She didn't deny it. So whatever, you know, like we said, lickety split, lickety
That's
split.
it. That's the running joke.
Cliff and JJ and Glenn were there though. Cliff was there for his wife Latrice. JJ was there for his wife Sophia. I refuse to call that lady so Gucci. And
Yeah.
Glenn was there with his estranged wife Letitia.
To get these results.
Glenn has taken. Yep, we find out that Glenn has taken. He and the partner. Well, I don't know if they still partners, but you know his previous partner who he cheated, went outside his marriage with, and this child that was born to this woman, all three of them took the DNA test to see if he is the biological father of another child. What did you guys think about that mess?
Mm. Well, for first, I'll say I think Essie definitely should have been there because she was in the whole season. She should have been there.
She really should have been there. She should have had a tuxedo on.
You ain't gonna leave it alone, are you, Aubrey? You
just say no. You know what? I have been at a high class dressy black tie event, and I was working as a you know.
Okay, right.
You ain't gonna get me in trouble. I was working as a hostess, me and another young lady, and we had on tuxedos that were fitted to our bodies, and I'm telling you, they were sharp. They were sharp, and we got a lot of attention. But I think it's funny. My daughter went to, I think it was sophomore year, she went to her homecoming in not a tuxedo, but you know, a casual version of it with the whole tie and everything, and people loved it. You know, so there's nothing wrong with a lady in a tux. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I got it.
You get what I'm saying as far as style and fashion. Women have rock tuxes, and doesn't make you
Aubrey know what I'm talking about.
But I know why I know why you saying that, because I am one that have an issue with the soulmate thing.
You have an issue with it.
You have an issue
because I have best friends that are females, and I have a best friend that's a male. That's never going to be my soulmate, though.
Are you saying the female will never be your soulmate? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right. I hear what you're saying, but you know, what is
Kirby saying? Wait a minute.
Kirby wasn't messing with me.
Okay. I just saw it because I just got back from the bed.
I had to pull my phone down so I can talk to Kirby in the chat.
The wife need to say that they. What? Oh yes, yeah.
They might as well be.
But here's the thing. Another Southern thing, and I'm not going to say that this doesn't happen in other parts of our country, but another very Southern tradition. And I'm telling you, this is so funny. People, you better, if you meet a man and you're in the Midwest, the North, and he says that he was married once before, you better check and find out at the courthouse if they ever got a divorce, because Southern men are known to keep a wife. And when it all said and done, you'll be living common law, living with that man. And I'm going to tell you something, all his benefits will be going to the first wife because he ain't never got a divorce. So don't play with me.
We spoke about that before. That's
they
real.
are known for that. So I don't see Seti getting a divorce. And then I think it's a thing with the Southern women. I think they like saying that they're married, whatever that means. I don't know if you're not really with the person. I don't know what that really means.
And Marie, he just out doing his thing. And what kind of marriage is that?
But Cedric ain't gonna go nowhere till he get that Rolex.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot she owes him a Rolex.
She owes him a Rolex.
That is the craziest thing I ever heard.
That's a Southern thing, and you think about it, you have to wonder: is Letitia ever going to get rid of Glenn?
If she's smart, she will.
Yeah, we're about to get on this to your LNV, to your topic. We're about to come right on over to that. Let me let me flip on over back over here to the banner, to the notes.
What the Keisha Sugg said earlier, and what Ellen's talking about regarding this Glenn and
Glenn says, okay, so we get Glenn out there. Glenn says that he was just conversating, y'all.
That's not a word.
Not a word.
I cannot stand it when people say that. I just like, okay, my level of respect just dropped that much lower for you. Conversating is not a word, folks. Please stop saying that.
Hold on, Aubrey, though. It is a word, but it's
not a word.
It's right. It's conversing.
It's not correct. Right. Conversing. Right. It's not the correct conjugation.
Do you know what conversating is?
What?
The ghetto version?
No. It's the act of intercourse.
What?
Yes. I am big on words.
I'll have to look that up.
I look that up.
But conversating, also people misusing that, because I don't think he meant when he was saying
they just making up a word. Yeah.
He meant he was conversing, and I got that he meant that, but I said, I
hate that.
College is a beautiful thing, folks. Don't but he says apparently. And I said, okay, apparently, I said, Glenn has no resistance. He just really doesn't to women. And, it's very clear to me, in my opinion, that he needs women to pump his ego up. Like, what? Go ahead, guys. Talk. Let's drag Glenn. Go ahead.
Well,
let's drag Glenn.
What's interesting is Letitia said, okay, I forgave him for the affair. And if a child came out of that, I have to forgive him for that too. But it's the other stuff she's saying that he has been doing, and he still getting. And this is after she moved back in, after all the begging he did and pleading and all this season, chasing her and running her down in parking lots and all this stuff. Soon as she moved her boxes back in, he DMing with other women. And his excuse is, I never seen H-size breasts before. So that's a reason to respond.
That man is a whole lie. He done lived to be almost 40. He's about 40 years old. He done seen every size that there is. Don't play with me. They got strip clubs and booby clubs down there in the South. What is he talking about? Really?
It's like, the thing is, okay, I can't defend him. The thing I can defend is you can't stop what people send you initially. You don't have to respond. What you do is after that, you block them. Okay, you can't help what they say, but you block them after that. But you don't you don't get entangled in a dialogue and a back and forth, knowing that these women who and Sophia said it, these women will, and Akeisha also said it, these women will not let up. They will be all in your husband's DMs, which is another conversation, because these women want to be in those positions. They want your husband. It's a conquest for them as well. I'm going to get Akeisha's husband. I'm going to get this one's husband. I'm going to be on that show. And they flood these DMs.
And they don't know they're never going to be on the show just because they get to be the side chick. We know of a side chick from Love and Marriage Huntsville, and she's been running 7 years strong and ain't been on one episode. And that show's been on for what, 3, 4, 5 years?
And got famous. And still got famous.
She did, but she's not on any show, so therefore she's not getting paid. So, and just recently lost her brand new car that the side dude bought her or whatever. So, I mean, all of that, just to say what? That's really tacky. Yeah. Again, people don't have any self-respect. How you carry yourself and how you see yourself and how you move, like, just because it's easy to get into anybody famous DM doesn't mean that's what you should be doing. It just doesn't.
Look at High Vibe. Cedric still is beneficiary of the insurance. That's true. That's real.
That's right. Real. Yeah, I had that up there. Yeah. And that's what I was saying. Not only that, Social Security benefits.
Social Security. Yep. Life is
401k.
Pensions.
Yep.
All that.
All of those things. And that's what I'm saying. You meet a guy from the South. You meet a guy from anywhere, but especially from the South, and he tells you he's been married once, I swear you better make him show you divorce papers, and then you better go down there and go online and check the county courthouse to make sure they've been filed. Because them Southern guys do not believe in getting divorced. And I know this, we talked about this story. I had an aunt that was with the guy for like 20 years. And when he died, she got to plan his funeral, and the family made her feel so special. She got to plan his funeral, and she came back from the funeral. Her stuff was packed up. Okay.
Lord have mercy.
Bye. And that's because he was still married to his first wife, never got a divorce. But you're gonna live with a man for 20 years. I wish I would.
Right.
Ridiculous.
Nicole, Lordy. Nicole, what's your thoughts on Glenn's situation with Letitia?
Now let me tell you something. I knew that Glenn was gonna be a problem first season when it was what anniversary or birthday when she had that girl hiding in the closet.
Huh?
And brought her out to
that episode.
So y'all don't remember that episode. I don't remember if it was a birthday or anniversary.
Okay.
But she brought some girl to the house to sing to him in their bedroom and had her hiding in the closet. And she came out of the closet, sang, and Glenn was all googly-eyed. And after she sang the song, Letitia was like, "Okay, now you gotta leave, ma'am." Why?
Well,
you already had the man in there playing the saxophone. Why did you have to have the girl hiding in the closet?
I think, and I didn't see. I do not recall that. I'll have to go back and see
I didn't see it either.
That's quite interesting. But I'm gonna say this now. I don't agree with Glenn being not having self-control over his peen. But I also, as a wife or a woman of the man or girlfriend, I'm also not gonna add no temptation that you don't need either. I'm not gonna have no woman hiding up in my closet in our bedroom of all places. Now, if we're at a event, we're at a banquet hall or whatever, we're out, for your birthday, celebrating somebody coming out into the fore in front of you, that's different. But in our private bedroom, no, there's not going to be any other women in our bedroom. Not if I can help it. If I got any say so about it. But that's just weird. So he was being all googly-eyed, is what you're saying, though, to the woman?
Googly-eyed.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That man has no self-control. Alex always talks about Letitia being like 17 and feeling the way she feels about her husband because of, she fell in love when they were both young and teenagers, right? But I say that Glenn never grew up either. Because a man that can control his eyes, like, that guy that drops the wallet and then he turns to look at the ladies behind, that's a guy that has no self-control. I don't want him. I don't want him because, that right there, that's a whole child.
Excuse me, Aubrey.
That's a whole child. I think, do you guys agree with me?
I actually been down. I've been down to tie my shoe. I don't drop my wallet.
Drop your wallet, tie. Same difference.
I don't agree.
Same difference. A man that has no.
Tell her, Nicole.
Alex, wait a minute. No. I'm talking to you. I'm talking directly to you. Shout out to Miss Misha. Listen, I'm talking directly to you. Do you think that there is a correlation between self-control with your eyes and how you look at women and when you do it to your control over your other parts, lower regions? Yes or no?
Well, we're gonna always look. We're human. It's the gawking.
I didn't say right. It was. I'm not talking that, and that's what I'm saying. There's a difference between looking
and gawking
and being googly. So now, yes or no? Is there a correlation? Yes or no?
But between looking and body part?
No. You follow what I'm saying. So gawking and googly eyes. Because if you gotta drop your wallet, tie your shoes, that's basically gawking. Right. So now, is there a correlation? Yes or no?
Between that and the body parts?
Between having self-control over your peen. Alex, don't play like you don't know what I'm talking about. So basically, you're saying you still don't have control.
No, you don't have to move forward. You're just looking. You don't have to exchange phone numbers and stop her and nothing like that.
No, I know. I that's not what I asked you. You never. We're moving forward.
Yeah.
You can't answer the question. You can't answer the question because
maybe I don't understand the question.
I said, do you understand what the word correlation means? Is there a tie between a man gawking and him having a lack of self-control over his peen? Is there a tie between those two things?
No, it's two different things. It's two different things.
Okay.
It's two entirely, and I know what correlation means.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out why you can't answer the question then. You could have said that about 5 minutes ago. Yeah. Oh, high five. She said she remembers it. She remembers.
Do you remember that
episode? I don't agree though.
But don't you agree with Nicole?
I don't care about looking. My man can look because we might discuss something together. But it's definitely you look and you don't touch.
Right.
I
Oh,
don't
you
care about
guys
the
are on the
talking.
same page. Okay. And that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I think there's a correlation though, and I'm not saying that it always has to lead to affairs or
Mhm.
cheating, but I think there's a strong correlation though. The guy that has to do all that extra bending over, dropping down, tying the shoes, basically what he's showing you is that's the way he likes to cheat. He likes getting over on women. And so the guy that likes to get over on the woman that he's with, then he will also cheat on her. That's in my mind, that's the correlation.
It's
So
it's a
that's what I was talking about, Alex.
Oh, okay. I got you. That
Because you
means
got to do all that extra. Like I said, I don't have a problem with a man looking, because guess what? If I see a fine man, I'm gonna look too. So you
Yeah,
ain't the only one got eyes.
that means if he's doing that as far as gawking, then he has the propensity or the capacity to take it a step further. If you just look, then you just look and leave it alone. But if you're gawking or plotting how to stare, sometimes you're in the supermarket, you go in a separate aisle from your wife because you've seen a woman earlier that might be in there shopping. You do all kind of crazy stuff so we can get a cheap look.
Ellen B said she can't judge. She dropped a whole pen so that she could get a better look at her coworker.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
Both
But you
sides
know
of the
what?
coin.
But I take it. But I take it that your man or husband was not around on that day.
Well, men are visual, so you can't.
So are
expect
women.
them.
So are women, Nicole. I don't buy that jizz that men are just visual. Men are visual.
I'm not
but
saying
so
that
are
we're
women.
not. I'm not saying we're
Mhm.
not, but it takes a little more for us. Most of us,
It takes a lot more for
right?
for
Which
many of us.
which for
But
some men it can only be visual. Is what
Yeah,
I'm saying. The
yeah,
difference.
yeah.
I definitely think that we're both men and women visual creatures, but men can be strictly visual. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
okay. Are we to believe as they go on further in the conversation that Glenn and this lady who had the child that they're testing for DNA, her child, are we really agree do we agree or disagree that this probably was Glenn's one and only slip, because that's what he's trying to get us to believe?
Absolutely not.
Now I don't know who he think. Like he's still talking to that 17-year-old girl he married or whatever, because he ain't talking to us.
No,
Nobody believes that but her. And
nobody's
she don't even
buying.
believe it. She don't even believe it.
I don't think in her heart of hearts. I think it's a lot of things. What I see as a viewer with Letitia is that it's called cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
She has allowed herself to kind of go along and say, yeah, okay, baby. But in her heart of hearts, she clearly doesn't believe that. She clearly knows there's more to the situation.
Yeah,
She clearly
because
knows her man. She knows him. She knows what
because
he
Aubrey,
is.
you says cognitive dissonance, and that's powerful because that's when beliefs that you hold near and dear to your heart suddenly get challenged with new information.
That's right.
Then you have cognitive dissonance. You don't want to accept the new information. Okay.
Right.
That's where the dissonance come in. All right. And that's what she has. She's still living with this fantasy. We talk about this all the time. The 17-year-old girl fantasy. Listen, it is not a death sentence to get divorced. It happens all the time.
It's
People survive it. Give up that dream, move on, let Glenn move on. You blocking him from being with maybe somebody he really needs to be with or really want to be with.
Glenn ain't gonna
let
never
him go.
Be with one woman. Glenn is never gonna be with one woman. So.
That's on him.
That's on him. And you know what?
But
I just thought of something. Maybe she's blocking him from being in a nice, fun polyamorous situation down there in Jackson, Mississippi.
Maybe. Poly is growing. That's a growing thing.
It's a growing thing, and so is HIV. But go ahead, Nicole. What are your thoughts on it? I said this before. Hold on one second, Nicole. I said this before, and I'm not saying this to be mean or funny or anything. But the reality is, if anybody has looked at, and I have, HIV in Mississippi is one of the highest rates of per capita of HIV is in Mississippi. So I really think that if she got that kind of husband, I wouldn't want no parts of him. If I knew that about him, in my heart of hearts, I would have to let him go because my health comes before you. Nicole?
My heart hurts a little bit for her because I see in her, you know, they've been together for a very long time since high school. And she just gives the energy of she don't want to start over, you know. She you can you know she loves him and that it hurt, but it's like she might not feel like she can start over. You know, we don't know their conversations behind closed doors, but he give one of those "ain't nobody don't love you like me" type of, that's the vibe he give me. Like, I saw a side of him that he never showed first season. And we know as many more sides that we would never see on camera. But I hope that she doesn't take him back, because this newfound fame he has no control over his emotions and his
and what's that his timber. What's that old saying, Nicole, too, that there is deal with the devil you know.
Wait,
okay. Who what?
Deal, you say what? Deal with the devil you know.
No, he said Nicole.
No, I said deal with the devil you know. And that may be what Letitia's thinking. Okay, because everybody, they start over again. Everything's always good in the beginning of a new relationship. Then after a while, reality starts to set in, and everything you start to have to adjust to changes in the relationship. She probably don't want to go through that again. She'd rather deal with what she's been dealing with instead of starting over new. Then after a while, being in love for 2-3 years, then in the 3rd or 4th year, the adjustments come, the trials and tribulations come, blah, blah, blah. She may get cheated on again. Who knows? So she don't want to start over again. It's like even Nicole is saying. She's afraid of ending something and starting over again. But life is about starting over again. That's all life is. New beginnings, new jobs, new cities, new children, new this. That's all life is.
What you say, new children?
Yeah, new children. You know? New children.
Okay.
You know?
You a mess. You a whole mess.
For real. So
in the chat, they're saying that Glenn is giving off vibes like that guy on Love and Marriage Huntsville. And then someone said, High Vibe says, who? Martell?
We know it's Martell. You know it's Martell.
I like this one though. My favorite drag of the evening is this one right here. You get the gold star, Monique King. The dust just comes out of Glenn's pores.
The dust. The dust.
Yeah, the dust. He's dusty.
What in the Lord have mercy. All right.
Looks like I won't be visiting Mississippi, Kirby says. Even though Newark, New Jersey, yeah, that's true. That's another one. That is another high. I think that, you know, the thing that's always been interesting to me is that in our community at large, we've gotten away from prophylactics. Okay, I'm gonna say it that way, and I'm not gonna say it any other way. We've gotten away from prophylactics, and that has created a high rate of unmarried, out of wedlock children, as well as the spread of STDs. So not a good thing. Not a good thing, because prophylactics are readily available. They're inexpensive. You can go to a health facility and get them for free. Get them free. You know, so but yeah, not a cool thing. You're right, Kirby.
High Vibe says, but when your devil is your abuser, you need to remove yourself from the relationship. And that's to my comment.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, that's your MVP right there.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Oh, wait a minute. Robo is right there with Monique. Yeah, Glenn is a super dust bucket. Wait a minute. Oh, now wait a minute, Ravi. We haven't found out that that's his child yet, so we don't know. Will we say that if that's not his child, does that make him a little less worse than Martell, or what? I don't know.
A little less dusty.
No, that is not the dust part. That's really not the dust part. Exactly, High Vibe. Exactly. We had one more note, and then we're gonna wrap these things up and let you guys talk about what you guys are doing over on your channel. Hold on one second.
Mm.
The DNA cliffhanger, guys. The DNA cliffhanger.
Right.
So we find out that he's taking the DNA test, but of course they have us. We have to come back next week. What do you guys think? Letitia is crying her eyes out. Is Glenn the father of this other child? What do you guys think?
E.
Alex,
Nicole, ladies
throw it over
first.
to her.
Don't
Okay, now you're gonna say ladies first. Sometimes you just jump in there, never mind the ladies. But Nicole, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sure he is, and I bet that her crying has nothing to do with the test.
Really? You
Because
think
that's just how they like to do previews.
Right, I was wondering about that too. Or do you think you think too? I thought about it. I said maybe the child actually isn't his, and maybe because you can see that lady is so wound up. Did you guys notice how her knee was just shaking? She was just shaking her knee and just going back. She was in a. She
She
said she hadn't slept that night before. She got no sleep. Her eyes were red. So I think she's so on edge. No matter what they say next week or this week, no matter what they say, I think she is going to just fall apart because
yeah
she's so on edge. She's so
yeah.
on edge.
Her anxiety right now is through the
Anxiety, yes.
roof. I mean, her eyes were like a deer in headlights, and that knee, her leg was just going 1,000 miles a minute,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's just all this anxiety built up. So even if it's not his child, it'd be like a weight lifted. Everything's just going to pour out of her. That's what it is. She's waiting to explode and get these emotions out. Because
Exactly.
this whole season she's been practicing on being a stronger woman and this and that. And the black women get, y'all get coined with that. Strong black woman, strong black. But listen, and
I'm
when it
giving
comes,
up the ghost on that one.
yeah,
I'm just a resilient black woman.
Yeah,
I don't need to be strong anymore. My man will be strong.
When it comes time to be soft and supple, it'll all come out in the tears, when it needs to. So I think that's what's going on with her. But I feel like I was watching an episode of Maury Povich for some reason. I'm like, what in the world?
Latrice said that too. Yeah, yeah. What about you? What were your thoughts, Nicole?
If this is not the first time, it won't be the last time.
Really?
Ooh, with a whole DNA test that far?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my!
You talking about Glenn, right?
Yes, talking about that Glenn.
Yes.
No self-control peeing, Glenn.
That's my final answer.
Okay,
final answer.
All right. I accept that. That's great. And then we see, for next week's trailer, not only are we going to find out whether Glenn is the father or not, we also wondering, and we're going to find out a little bit more about whether Demon or Demon, not Demon, Demon was having hot and heavy time. And thanks, Nicole, Nicole, shout out to Nicole for the hot and heavy time. Was he having hot and heavy time with the decorator or
yes.
not?
Yes.
Alex, you just already saying yes. Why do you think that? What makes you think that he had hot and heavy time with that decorator lady?
Because first of all, she's not denying it. He's not denying it. And then Tambra doesn't want to face her. So she knows.
She's another one suffering from cognitive dissonance. She's another woman on that show that's really very delusional in the way she moves and not willing to face anything, because she could have faced that woman at the other event if she had wanted to.
I mean, they've been off and on for 16 years. So why would you think?
Right. That part right there. Exactly. You're right. Now that's one time where I had to give the man whatever he did. If he was in the time when they were broken up, it doesn't really matter, because I'm not gonna date nobody for no dang on 16 years and we're not married. That's just ridiculous. And Lakeisha told her that. She said, at your big old grown age, 16 years with the same person, what in the world?
But here's the thing though. She don't want to face that woman because she don't want to face her truth, which is you were also engaged to a whole other man.
Right.
That's what they're saying. That's what the streets are saying, allegedly, that she was. And then what happened to him? This is what I don't understand I feel like this about Tambra. I said this before. I don't feel like Tambra wants to be married. All of this stuff to me is like it's either part of her storyline or she's saying this type of stuff because now that I feel like there's a certain part of her that now that her grandmother passed away, now she wants to think about family at her big great age. Like, really?
And wants children.
That part is what I do not understand, why women sit up and think because Janet Jackson and this one and that one had a baby with a surrogate, or maybe had their own baby at a big old great age, why they think it's normal and healthy and safe for them to do it. I do not get that.
They don't keep in mind that Janet Jackson has the very best of healthcare, very best of everything at her disposal. They don't think about that.
Right. That's I mean, I mean, it happens, and we know. I know, growing up in the church, I know that there were a number of women, but they had already had children, and them and their husbands had what we call a change of life baby.
Mhm.
That one little extra one that popped out 10 years after the other ones, or 15 years, or whatever. They were women of certain age, and they managed to get through it, and they managed
Mhm.
to have these children. Now, some of them maybe were fine, and some weren't, but we now know, science has now proven that, they used to blame everything on the woman, but science has proven that even if you're a younger woman and you have children with a mature man of a certain age, that you can then sometimes have these babies that have real serious conditions and problems. And not saying that any baby is less, but that is so much more work when you have a special needs child. Now you've got to do all of this. Are you really going to be willing to do all of this? That
Mhm.
child needs special assistance, care. Hopefully, you have the money to provide for that child and provide all that they need. And
Mhm.
I don't really understand why people want to wait till the end of time to try to have a child. I don't. I don't get that.
Yeah. And your other question is, did Cliff with JJ's ex? Did Cliff mess with JJ's ex? And
Hmm.
the guy spoke about that at the outing. I think Cliff did smash that back in the day. This is before Monique. I mean, not Monique. Excuse me. This is before Latrice.
The trees, yeah.
So
Hmm.
just before Latrice. So I think he did smash it because even JJ was like, "Man, can we talk?" No, Cliff like, "Man, can we talk about something else?" Because he don't want to talk about that because he did it. You know.
Yeah, he's a
So
handsome fellas. I
yeah,
imagine, and especially around the area where he's at, which seems to be small potatoes in a small town, he can pretty much have who he wants to have, and especially when his coins is coining too.
yeah,
Oh
he
yeah,
got some money too. Yep.
he can
Mm-hmm.
have who he wants to have. I mean, if they'll accept old Glenn, my goodness,
Mm-hmm.
Dusty
Yeah.
Glenn. All
Yeah.
right.
Is it safe to say Glenn would never come talk to us?
No, we might be able to. You know what? He got a thing for women with size age. Maybe I'll find a picture and put that in his DM and get him on.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who
Oh
knows?
goodness.
Any final thoughts, Nicole, before we wrap up and we get to find out more about you? I want you to go first. Like Alex always says, ladies first.
Yeah.
Well, I love JJ from what was it?
Was it a Potomac thing? Was it? Where was he?
No, he was on the show with Coach D. Why can't I
Um,
think of it right now?
No.
and I had it earlier in the episode, or earlier this live. I had it in my head, and I was saving it for later. And of course, now I don't. Guys, help us out. What's the name
Yeah,
of
I can't think
JJ's
of the
shows?
show, but it's actually
Stepping,
called.
high stepping, or
It
step
was
up?
Yeah, I didn't watch it, so I have no idea. I haven't seen JJ until Bell Collective. I never knew who he was. So that's
a
something. But
Google.
yeah.
Kirby is funny. Kirby said, "Doggone it, is the only faithful
A
man on the
Google.
show the football player?"
What is the show with Coach D on it?
Oh my goodness.
Well, remember now, he just got back to town, so
Right, right, right,
give it a second.
right.
No, but I think the thing about him, from listening to her talking, Keisha talking about her husband, she got that on lock. I mean, not gonna say what he won't do, but he know how far to take it. They
Right.
they have their mutual agreement.
And
It's
she
called Bring It.
oh, bring it.
Bring it, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Bring
So I
it,
know
bring
him
it.
from that show, and I like him with They Mama. So I like JJ, but I just want him to cut his hair off.
I know. I was looking at it this last episode, and I was like, not only it's like it's thin. Like, what happened? I don't know,
Very.
the volume of it, and then you're gonna have the little braids, them little dingly braids hanging down. Cut that mess off, and
It's to the scalp. It's to the scalp at this point.
Like, yeah, like, come on now. You're not Stevie Wonder. You can see what's going on there.
Right. Yeah.
Stevie Wonder got an excuse because, he couldn't see his hairline going back and the people kept putting the brakes in his. But you are not Stevie Wonder, sir. Come on now. Come on. Get it together. Get it together.
Y'all wrong. Y'all are so wrong.
But we'll be back next week and hopefully on our regular night, which is Monday, right? Monday at 7:00. And E. Nicole is welcome to join us. We'll be back. But go ahead, E. Nicole. Speaking of you, go ahead and tell us about your channel and what you've got going on over there.
Well, I have 2 channels. So for the heavier discussions, the positivity, the education, you can see me on hashtag on everything with an A, all one word. And then when you want to let your hair down and laugh a little bit and, get a little raunchy, you can meet me over on the E. Nicole.
Okay. Now is that what Chatting It Up is?
Yes, that's over there.
Okay.
All the interviews are on the E. Nicole.
Excellent. Okay.
Now,
I've already done it.
Hold on. What do you have coming up, E. Nicole? Like maybe this week? Do you have any live shows coming up or any uploads that you're going to be doing?
This week I have an interview with Randall from Ready to Love.
All right. And that's on what, Friday?
Yes, on Fridays after the show.
Okay.
I interview cast members from the show over there. I have a Fumble Me challenge going on with a song that I have coming out. So that's over there on that channel. And yeah, I have some other goodies coming, but I don't want to talk about it yet.
Okay.
All right.
Well, tell Randall to make sure he shaves, please.
Lord.
He can do whatever he wants to do. He can do whatever he wants to do. Now that but go ahead. Ready for you, Alex?
Yeah, magnetic repellent. That name is becoming synonymous with logic and craziness. So
Oh Lord.
So please go to Magnetic Repellent. Dropped a lot of shorts there. I just dropped a short today, matter of fact, on managing pain and mental illness. So go check that out. A lot of good videos there. I'm also working on 2 films that I spoke about before. So we're going to develop them right now. So I'm just keep that where it's at. Keep your fingers and toes crossed on that.
And guys, yours truly will be starring in it as an avatar.
No, she's gonna be on screen for this.
I wasn't ready.
I will be on screen. Everybody else will be on screen. I will still be an avatar. Okay.
We got one line for her to say. She's gonna be on screen saying that one line.
With a big floppy hat covering up my identity.
So but good stuff coming up. But follow Magnetic Repellent and also IG AW Leaf 67 on IG.
All right. And of course, I'm actually Aubrey. You guys can join my AT membership. There's a join button. You can leave a super chat, super thanks, super sticker, all of those things. And the Cash App is on my About page. And there's a clickable link, which I'm waiting for Alex to add to his page, but that's okay. You guys can send me, in lieu of his, you can send me, and I will make sure, wink, wink, that he gets it. Just send it to my Cash App, actually Aubrey, and I will forward a portion of it to him. I mean, all of it to him.
You heard it first here, folks.
And on that note, let's all say bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye now. See you guys later.